Hello there, Trailblazers fans. Welcome into another edition of the 1977 podcast where, you know what, I do have a lot to get to. I haven't got to the Adam Silver stuff and expansion and the Blazers' future. I haven't even got on and talked about Young Hansen, who's looked incredible in Summer League. But you know what? In the business of podcasting and radio and all the stuff that I tend to do, you know what? You pivot. You pivot, just like Ross when he's trying to move a couch up the stairs. Pivot, and we have to pivot today. Why? Because holy smokes, breaking news this afternoon that had all of Rip City screaming out the windows from the top of their lungs, from the top of Mount Hood, from the top of the Coast Range. You could hear screams all the way from Ontario to the Oregon coast, and that was because we're all shocked. We are all shocked, as Chris Haynes was the first to report that your Portland Trailblazers have agreed to a 3-year deal with Damian freaking Lillard. That is right. Damian Lillard is coming back to Rip City. It is so crazy, so surreal. It is something that, quite frankly, we saw coming, but not like this. And what I mean by that is we have talked a lot. You've seen different talking heads. You've seen the reporters, even the fans. Everyone kind of felt that the reunion between Damian Lillard and the Trailblazers was going to happen at some point, right? It was kind of written in the stars that he was going to come back. We just didn't know when. And it all also made a lot of sense for it to take some time, right? He's a free agent. Go try to win a chip. Go sign with Golden State. Go sign with Boston. Go do your thing. And I think most of us were expecting, okay, he's going to go, he's going to try one more run at that title. He's going to sign a 3-4-year deal. Then he's going to be what? He's going to be 39 years old. If he hasn't hung him up yet, he's going to come to Portland and ride into the sunset. But that's not the case. That is not the case, because Damian Lillard is back in Portland on a 3-year, $42 million deal, absorbed into that MLE, which, funny enough, that they got from waiving DeAndre Ayton, who was part of the Damian Lillard trade in the first place, right? And we'll get all to that in a second. But it's just so crazy to me when you start breaking this down. Now, some people poo-pooed this, right? And here's the thing. If you're poo-pooing this for basketball reasons, get up out of here. I don't want to hear it. And the reason why is, first off, I get it. And for basketball reasons, maybe you don't like it this year because he's not going to play. He is not going to play this year as he is rehabbing from that Achilles injury that he suffered in the playoffs. And, you know, when he does come back, he's going to be, 36 years old, injured, and coming off that, he's going to have to ease through it. Might be a shell of his former self. But the reason I say get out of here with that take is because sometimes things are more important than basketball, okay? And I don't care if that is cheesy, okay? If you were on social media today, you saw one thing and one thing only, and that is how freaking important Damian Lillard was, is, and will always be to the city of Portland. That's what you saw. That's what you saw, because if it didn't have anything to do with basketball, it was more, oh my gosh, Dame is coming back. Dame is coming back. Fans were going insane. We were on the Rip City Drive with Chad Dewing, and the phone lines were ringing off the hook. 99% of them excited that Dame was coming back, because sometimes the reunion is more important than all that other stuff, the basketball and what he can bring. This is important. This is something I think Blazer fans needed. You sit here and we all talk about the way Clyde Drexler left and the way Bill Walton ended his career in Portland. LaMarcus Aldridge, right? I want to be the greatest Blazer of all time, only to turn around and go to San Antonio. And we all felt like Dame was the one. Dame was the one. He was rooted in Oakland, rooted in Ogden, and then rooted in Oregon. This was home. And then Blazers draft Scoot Henderson. He isn't happy. He requests a trade. And at the time you get all that, I don't think anyone was like mad at him per se that he requested out. It just hurt because you're like, no, now he's going to end his career in Milwaukee or whatever's going to happen. Like, this one hurt. That was our guy. That was our guy. But I think this proves one thing, and this is why this move is so special for Blazer fans. It proved that he wasn't lying. He wasn't feeding you a line of BS when he said that he loves Portland. And all the things he said about his love for Rip City his entire career wasn't fake, because given the opportunity for the very first time in his entire career, the first time that he can walk into free agency, he can walk into the market and say, okay, I need every single one of these teams to line up because I'm going to talk to every single one of them. Highest bidder, here we go, and start talking. First time in his career, he could have walked over to the New York Knicks bench. He could have walked over to the Celtics bench. He could have walked over to the Miami Heat bench, who wanted him very, very badly when he was on the market. He could have walked back to the Bay and Golden State. He could have gone to the Lakers and talked to them. Houston, all these teams he could have talked to. And granted, they were all sending him offers, but when it was all said and done, he chose Portland. He chose Portland. One more time, he chose Portland. And the reports are coming out that there was multiple playoff teams that were offering him vet minimum deals, because obviously a lot of teams have already spent all their money. And that's an important thing to note here. Damian Lillard very, very easily could have gone to Boston and chased that chip, because I thought that was the team that was going to end up getting him, right? Okay, guess what? We're going to go through this year, maybe get a high draft pick because our team's hurt, but then we're going to come back. We're going to have Damian Lillard. We're going to have a healthy Jason Tatum. We're going to have Jaylen Brown. We're going to be good. He didn't do that. He could have gone to Houston, who needs a little extra spark, right? And could have played with Kevin Durant and all those guys down there. He said no. He could have gone back to the Bay. Granted, it's not in Oakland anymore, so it's not the same. But you can't tell me that the gravity he has wouldn't have made Steph and Jimmy Butler very, very happy. He could have been a great point guard for LeBron James. Could have gone to Dallas, right? All these teams that are in contention. And he didn't. He chose Portland. And to more so really hammer home that this is home and that Portland is important to him, no trade clause. So you can't turn around and say, yep, send you to Boston to get me some more stuff. Yeah. No. He wants to be in Portland. That's amazing. It is awesome. And again, the way the social media reaction was today proves to you that Damian Lillard is something different than basketball. Damian Lillard is Rib City to a point. He embodies it. If you could put a face to what Rip City means, it's him. Grabbing the mic, obviously, Rip City. We all know that. But there's something special. And this is something, whenever we got in the argument of who the greatest Blazer of all time is, a lot of the new age fans would always skip over Clyde, skip over Bill, and go straight to Dame. And their reasoning why was just the way he connected with the city. This team has been kicked in the nuts far too many times by their star players. Over and over again, it feels like. This city, I talking to fans, I feel like this city so badly wants to love Clyde Drexler, but Clyde Drexler doesn't want to love back. And that hurts. This team and this franchise so badly wants to love LaMarcus Aldridge, but when he left, he didn't love back. Now, he's gone on different podcast stuff, and the things he said would start to make you feel a little bit better about LA, but the sting, it still hurts. This city so badly and so intensely loves Damian Lillard, and he loves you back. And that's special. That is special, man. That is special. And the thing was, I don't think that would have changed had he not signed with Portland, because people knew that there was something important here about being in Rose City. But today, when it was announced that he signed the deal, he posted on his Instagram a video at the practice facility that just goes down the line of lockers, right? You see Denny Avdia, you see Tumani Kamara, you see Chris Murray, you see Dwight Breath, you see Young Hansen, and then there it is. You see Damian Lillard with his jersey hanging there in the locker, and then it just fades to a screen that says "Together Again," and the Blazers and Damian Lillard are together again. Now, for Damian Lillard, what this means from basketball, we'll find out. Obviously, he's likely not going to play at all next year. Okay, so let's factor that in. And then he'll be ready to go in the 2026-2027 season, which maybe at that point, is he a backup? Probably. I mean, it makes sense to me, especially if Scoot pops off and he has a great year. But you got Dame, and that's what matters. That's what matters. And more importantly, I mean, Damian Lillard, if you guys remember when he came back that first game with Milwaukee, I mean, everyone's talking about what it was like to be here and be back. And one of the things that stood out to him, he's like, I got to take my son to school, right? Because his family and his kids are here. So now he gets to be with them. That's huge. I think Dame has definitely proven and shown everyone out there that, you know, being a father is important to him, which is great. I'm a father of 3 beautiful girls myself, and it's the most important thing I do every day. And now Dame gets to do that, not halfway across the country. That's impactful. That's big. And you guys also know Damian Lillard. You saw him here in Portland, always in the ear of everyone on the team, right? So now you get Scoot Henderson next year, who I still believe is going to be the starting point guard, even though they have Drew Holiday. We'll see what happens in October. It could be wrong. But regardless, Scoot Henderson, who is poised for a massive breakout year, is going to have Drew Holiday in one ear and Damian Lillard in the other. There is massive amounts of value in that. Massive, right? So that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, Damian Lillard, you're going to see him on the bench, and every single time out, he's going to be up and he's going to be in Scoots here. You bet your bottom dollar. It's just, gosh, I can't believe Dame's back. Now let's look at the trade for a second, shall we? Remember Damian Lillard was shipped off to Milwaukee, and the return for him was Drew Holiday. And then, of course, another part of that package sent Yusuf Nurkic to Phoenix. The return was Toumani Camara and DeAndre Ayton. But then Drew Holiday was instantly shipped to Boston, got them Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams and some assets. And then they quickly, the next year, flipped Malcolm Brogdon over to Washington to get Denny Avdia, who has been an incredible piece for the Blazers in his short time here. Oh, man. And then they go and they trade Anthony Simons. They get Drew Holiday back. So now Portland, basically what they did was traded all those pieces. They got Toumani Camara, they got Denny Avdia, they got Drew Holiday, they got Robert Williams, and in the end, they got Damian Lillard. Oh, and they have all those first-round picks and stuff that they got with those deals. I mean, Joe Cronin did pretty good on this one. He did pretty good on this one. Again, where the future goes, I don't know. We will cross that bridge when we get there. All I know is right now, it's a crazy feeling. It's a crazy feeling. I called our radio host at Rip City Radio. I called Chad Doing, and I'm like, did you see the news? Did you see the news? As soon as it hit my phone. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Damian Lillard just signed with the Blazers. He's like, what? And so I start breaking it down to him, and like literally a guy who talks on the radio for a living, 3 hours a day, solo shows right now, talks for a living, had nothing to say. I had to pull my phone from my ear and look at it to make sure there was still a cell connection. And then he finally broke the silence by going, I'm speechless. I'm literally speechless. Because no one saw this coming. And again, for a franchise, for a fan base that gets kicked in the nether region so often, they needed this one. They needed this one, especially after yesterday. You had the Adam Silver stuff. Oh, we would prefer Portland stays in the Pacific Northwest. And then everyone brought out their tinfoil hats about Portland moving to Seattle, which I will get into that in another episode. I'm going to record a few episodes tonight, and maybe I'll get them out over the next few days. Okay? Because I don't think they're ever going to move to Seattle. But you want Damian Lillard to be the ultimate, I was the best Blazer of all time, be the White Knight. Come in, end your career here, and then turn around and buy this franchise and make sure it never leaves the city. Boy, howdy. You would never need another arena sponsor because Moda Center or whatever new arena you built, it would be deemed the Dame Dome. like you would be living in Lillard luxury, right? Playing at the Dame Dome because he would own this city. But again, we can talk about the basketball side of this later. Okay, I'm not even worried about that. He's not going to play this year. I'm not worried about the money because basically he's just sucked into that MLE, 3 years, $42 million. That is nothing. That's nothing. That is money that you can afford to put on your bench, especially when it's Damian freaking Lillard. And he may be a shell of his former self when he comes back. but it doesn't matter. Being in the building, repping the pinwheel again, it is shown already again on social media. You take the trip down, how important just having him here is to people. That means a lot. It absolutely means a lot. You went from 24 hours ago to everyone worrying about, oh my gosh, Seattle's a team from Seattle is going to buy Portland, and then the Blazers are going to move to Seattle, and we're going to lose our franchise. I'm going to hate basketball. To being just over the moon full of joy because your favorite Blazer of all time came back. And like I said, he chose you, and that should absolutely matter. He didn't look at Boston. He didn't look at Houston, who I think is going to have a great year next year. He didn't look at Denver, who's going to have a great year, and go there, where he definitely could have helped them. No, he looked at Portland. Had nothing to do with championships, had nothing to do with winning, and he'd still love to win them. But he chose Portland because Portland, in his heart, never left him. I think that's special. I really, really do. If this is my initial overreaction, so be it. So be it. I walked out. I made that call to Chad because I was at work. I came back in and I saw a coworker who's a Blazer fan, by the way. And I just looked at him and I go, look at me. And I held my hand out. My hand was shaking. It was like breaking news, but of this magnitude. I don't know. It's like Damian Lillard could have signed anywhere and it wouldn't have the punch that it did with him signing back in Portland. I'll tell you that much. But again, hands were shaking crazy because the guy that most people love is back. It's really good. And then there's things about him too that are going to benefit this team. What have we talked about for the last few years that this team's lacked? Basically since he walked out the door. Leadership. A locker room leader. Someone who's vocal, who's going to make sure everyone's doing the right thing and getting their job done. Guess what? You got one of the best to ever do it back. Oh, and you couple that with Drew Holiday, who's pretty good at that too. You have vocal leaders in that locker room for all those young guys now. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. Again, there's value to that, and it's awesome. And I do appreciate Trailblazers reporter Casey Holdall too, because he tweeted that Damian Lillard saw Young Hansen play 3 games in Summer League and then didn't hesitate to make the call. That's right. Can we say that Chinese Jokic is the reason he's here? It's probably not, but I mean, that does make for a good story. It does make for a good story. But man, I didn't see this coming. Didn't expect this. No one did. But I will reiterate it once again, that sometimes it's not about basketball. It's about the other things around it and what players mean. You could have gone out and signed, I mean, not signed because he wasn't a free agent, but you could have traded for Giannis. And boy, you would have been freaking out. You would have been freaking out. Absolutely, you would have. It probably would have been a similar reaction, but it would have been all for basketball reasons. And that's okay. That's absolutely okay. But think about that for a second. Because Damian Lillard gave you the same reaction as you would have had if you would have signed probably the best basketball player in the world. And that reaction had absolutely zero to do with what he's going to bring on the court, because he's not going to play next year. It had everything to do with the man who wears the jersey on and off the court. It had everything to do with Damian Lillard himself. Again, he was rooted in Oakland, rooted in Ogden, and definitely rooted in Oregon. Rip City loves him. He loves Rip City back. And tell you what, I'm a hugger. I know a lot of people out there are huggers. Maybe everyone in Portland just likes to hug. And it's nice that someone else finally hugged you back. They didn't turn their back to you and walk away. They hugged you back. And that matters. That matters. And I can't wait, man. I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. All right, that does it for this episode of the 1977 podcast. Of course, you can follow me on social at Chris J. Burkhardt, and you can listen to me over there on Rip City Radio 620. Just download the iHeartRadio music app. Still plenty of Blazer stuff I got to get to, but I'm out of time, so I'll hit you up with another episode after I come down from this high, because boy, man, this is amazing. Welcome back, Dame. We missed you.
You've been listening to the 1977 podcast. See you next time.